Hello students, today we are going to revise chapter 3, that is ecosystem of class 8th biology. Now students, in the previous lecture we have revised components of the ecosystem, that is biotic component and abiotic component. Now today we will revise ecological pyramids. So what actually these ecological pyramids are? These ecological pyramids, these are graphical representation of any ecological parameter. So taking consideration into of this ecological parameter at different trophic level, we used to represent some data. That graphical representation, it is known as ecological pyramid. So firstly, this ecological pyramids, it was developed by Charles Alton in 1927. So ecological pyramids, they may be upright or inverted. This is upright, this is inverted. So when it is upright, when magnitude of parameter gradually decreases at successive trophic level. So you can see this one is upright, and here the magnitude of the parameter, it is decreasing. You can see here it is forming a cone like structure, and the parameter at each successive trophic level, it is getting decreased. Inverted, in case of inverted, the magnitude of parameter, it gradually increases. So you can see here earlier it is very less, then it is at next trophic level it is increasing, at another trophic level it is increasing, and at last it has increased to much more extent. So basically these ecological pyramids, they are of three types. First is pyramid of number. See what pyramid of number is. It is number of organisms involved at different trophic levels in a food chain, and these are represented in a graphical way. So these pyramid of number, it may be upright or it may be as well as inverted. You can see here this one. This is example of upright and this is example of inverted. You can see here in case of upright, here it produces, they are more, then these herbivores less, primary carnivores then less, and these are least. In case of this inverted, that is parasitic food chain, you can see here oak trees, producers are less, then birds, they are much more in number, then lices and bugs, they are much more, and at last you can see these hyperparasites, they are very much in number. So second is pyramid of biomass. So what this pyramid of biomass is, it is also graphical representation, and how it is represented? It is represented by the total amount of living matter or organic remains per unit area at a given time. So it may also be upright as well as inverted. So you can see here grassland is example of upright and pond is example of inverted. Here you can see at this level the organic matter available to these are much, then suddenly it is decreasing. Here it is gradually increasing, and these secondary carnivores, they have the availability of much more organic matter. Next is pyramid of energy. Now it is very important. You can see amount of energy per unit area in different trophic levels in a food chain. So it is always upright. You can see producers, they are having the more amount of energy, then to other trophic level the amount of energy they are getting, it decreases. Now next, what we are going to revise is flow of energy in a food chain. In a food chain, how energy is flown. Now green plants, you all know what they do. They convert that solar energy into chemical energy and they prepare their food. These humans or the herbivores, they depends on them for their food and to get energy as well as to remain alive. So next is carnivores, they are depending on these herbivores and this process continues. Next friends, you can see at every step of energy transfer, only a part, that is 10% of the total energy, is passed on the next organism. So this is called 10% law. Now according to 10% law, what it states, only 10% of the energy entering a particular trophic level of a food chain is available for transfer to the next trophic level. Now with example you can understand this better. Grass, so the availability of energy to mice is 100 joule. Now from mice, the availability of energy to snake is 10%. So here 10% loss is there. Again from snake to peacock, when this peacock is eating the snake, how much energy it is getting? 1 joule. So only 10% energy transfer is there. Now students, the last topic for revision is interdependence of organism. So you all know interdependence of organisms means how the human beings, they are depending on plants and trees, and how the plants, they depends on animals. So dependence of human beings on plants and trees, you can see for food, natural fibers, medicinal compounds, spices, wood, timber, rubber, gums and resin, and oxygen, most important. And how plants, they depend on animals for pollination, seed dispersal and nutrients, and most important is carbon dioxide. Symbiotic nutrition. So what is symbiotic nutrition? You can see the two plants which live together as parts of the same plant and mutually help each other are called symbionts. So these are when the two plants, they are living together, and basically what they are doing, they are helping each other. Now such a relationship in which the two parts or the two plants, they are helping each other, it is known as symbiosis. So best example is lichen. Lichen is made up of two parts, that is fungus and alga. Fungus, it gives water and minerals. Alga, as it is green, it contains chlorophyll. It helps in preparation of food, and they both then share. Now parasitic nutrition is what they do. These plants, what they do, they derive food from the bodies of some other green plants and animals, and this type of nutrition is known as parasitic nutrition. Means they are not preparing their food, but basically what they are doing, they are depending on other plant as well as they are depending on other animal for the food. So the animal or the plant on which they are depending, they are known as host. So parasitic nutrition, parasites, it is of total parasite and partial parasite. Total parasite means the parasites which totally depends on the other plant or animal for the food, like cuscuta and some bacteria and fungi. Partial parasite, now for some part they depend on other plant or animal for the food. For example, mistletoe. Now students, we will move to our last part of revision, and the last topic is forest ecosystem. So you all know that what forest is. Forest is a place where you can find different animals, you can find different plants, you can find different varieties of flora and fauna. Now living organisms, they are classified into two types. One is producer and the other is consumer. Now you can see producers, these are also known as autotrophs. And why they are known as autotrophs? Because they are able to make their own food. Now basically green plants, they are producers. Consumers, these consumers depends on food made by autotrophs. Like we are consumers, animals, they are consumers, and consumers, they are also known as heterotrophs. And further these heterotrophs, they are divided into four types. You can see here herbivores. These are the animals which eat only plant or their products. For example, cow, goat. Carnivores, These eat only flesh of animals. Example, lion and hawk. Omnivores, what they do? They eat both plants and animals. Like human beings are there, dogs are there, bear, bhalu. Saprotrophs. Now these saprotrophs, they derive food from dead and decaying animals or plants. Mushroom, yeast, bacteria, they are saprotrophs. What they do, whenever the living organisms they die or they decay, these starts taking nutrition from them. So students, this is the revision of third chapter, and in the next revision part we will discuss some important question answers. Thank you.